I hate to do it to my fellow Bears fans. Not really. But I'm going to quote Aaron Rodgers. R-E-L-A-X. Relax. Now, I'm not surprised. I've been a Bears fan for over 30 years. So I understand the plight here. I know that this organization is still ultimately looking for that championship quarterback, that true franchise guy that we haven't had since Sid Luckman. You hoped at one point in time Jim McMahon could have been, but he couldn't get out of his own way and could never stay healthy enough for long enough to have become that guy. Jim Harbaugh, another first-round pick at quarterback, was good at times, but never really became that guy. I was there throughout all the years of the Rick Meyer trade and Cade McNown and all that suck-ass stuff. The Jonathan Quinns, the Craig Krenzels, the Cordell Stewarts, the Chad Hutchinsons, all of this crap. Henry Burris, Moses Moreno. I could go on and on and on. We could just have fun naming all the Bears starting quarterbacks since 1985. That'd be a long enough video in and of itself. And especially coming off of the heels of the failure of the Rex Grossman experiment, and then 8 years of the mediocrity of the Jay Cutler experience, I could understand with the Bears being in the position and what they ultimately did, pulling the trigger on a young quarterback at number 2 overall in the draft in Mitchell Trubisky, I can understand wanting to hope and pray to God that this was the right choice. Hoping and praying to God that Ryan Pace knew what he was doing. Hoping and praying to God that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be that guy. Because you don't want him to bust out, because you know if he does, the organization is going to struggle for many more years to come. And I'm with you on all of that. Even if I personally would not have taken Mitchell Trubisky that high in the 2017 NFL Draft, at this point, it does not matter. It's all in on Trubisky. I hope to God that in 2 to 3 years I can come on here and praise Trubisky to kingdom freaking come and talk about how wrong I was and how righteous Ryan Pace and his decision-making was. Because I don't have a choice. I've waited long enough. I don't want to keep waiting, for crying out loud. So this is the guy now. And we all want it to pan out. We all want him to be that guy. There is no question. So I'm not surprised when he made his preseason debut, really effectively his NFL debut for the Chicago Bears Thursday night against the Denver Broncos, that all Bears fans were going to be giggly tits about seeing the future face of the franchise. And curious to see how the kid would acclimate himself, seeing as how he really was only effectively a starter for 1 year at North Carolina. This was a very inexperienced player at the college level. Now he's making a huge jump after one productive season in college to the NFL. And usually those guys that make those types of jumps after such little experience in college don't pan out. They don't cut the mustard. They don't make it. So especially as Trubisky shows himself first in the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half and then throughout the second half to be pretty comfortable and not be overwhelmed by the moment and the situation. I'm not surprised to see the freaking Mitch Fest that broke out on Bears fan Twitter and Bears media Twitter. Jesus Christ. I mean, holy cow. I get the dude didn't look bad. He most certainly did not look bad. I thought he handled himself pretty well. But let's temper the expectations here a little bit, especially if you were comparing it to the fact that the ultimate answer to the question of what if Rex Grossman had a giraffe neck, I present to you Mike Glennon threw that early pick 6, and you're like, well, hell, Cutler could have done that. Well, he did it for 8 years. I understand against the backdrop of Glennon looking so bad and then Trubisky coming in and looking so good that everybody wants to anoint him and everything else. But let's not break out the anointing oils, to borrow a phrase from Bill Parcells, just yet. This was one preseason game, the first preseason game, meaning that the opponents aren't that all prepared either. Also factoring in that Mitchell Trubisky faced a lot of second, third, and even fourth team guys. Several of the guys that he faced on the Broncos defense will never play a regular season snap in the National Football League. So it's nice to see that he looked decent, especially with some of the struggles he's had off and on during the offseason workouts and in training camp. But this was one game, a little over one half of NFL action against second, third team, and fourth team scrubs that will be coming to the real world job near you very soon. I mean, let's just chill it just a little bit. Let's allow things to play out. Let's allow Trubisky to not feel the pressure of having to be the guy right away, because that pressure is going to be there soon enough and large enough anyways. So I'm not trying to put any undue pressure or stress on the quarterback that he doesn't need, because it's not going to be productive to the situation. Give the kid a chance to figure it out. Give the kid a chance to be a rookie, to grow, and to learn. Don't create all these unrealistic expectations automatically that he's going to come in and shake shit up like Dak Prescott did, or Russell Wilson did, or this guy did, or he's going to play at this level, or he's going to play at that level. Because the reality is, he very possibly will not. And one game alone does not mean that he automatically should start over Mike Glennon come week 1 of the regular season. Now, with that said, if we believe in true competition at the quarterback position, which is what there should be, if when all is said and done as the preseason plays out, if it's even with Glennon and Trubisky, then Trubisky had better be the starter, because the whole notion of the kid needs to sit, if he's as good as any option that you have on the roster, if not better, then you should play him. Because to sit there and say he'll learn more on the bench is ridiculous. Ideally, the quicker the kid can acclimate himself to the NFL and prove that he's ready to take the job, he needs to be given the job. You don't want to force it, but if he's ready, he's ready. Because even if you look at last year's quarterback class, Carson Wentz, coming from the smaller school, was supposed to take a year or two. He ended up getting the keys to the car right away and acclimated himself, I thought, relatively well to the NFL, whereas Jared Goff, the number 1 pick, coming from a program like Cal, was viewed to be more NFL ready. He sat out about half the season, and what the hell did you see out of Jared Goff once he actually did hit the field? The whole point I'm getting at is no two quarterbacks are ever the same. To sit there and say that he needs to sit and he needs to learn is potentially bullshit. I'm not saying right now he should be the starter. If Glennon shows he's more ready to handle the offense right now and is the best quarterback for the team at the moment, then he should be the starter. Not because of the salary he's being paid, but because he gives the team the best chance to win. But if it is even, or even really, really close, ultimately there's a reason that this organization drafted Mitchell Trubisky and traded up from 3 to 2 to get him. If it's close, or if it's even, he better be the fucking guy. But all these people talking about he looked like a franchise quarterback, he looked like the real deal. This is preseason action when guys aren't going at full speed and you're going against second, third, and fourth team scrubs. And that's the truth. So let's just relax on the anointing oil for Mitchell Trubisky for a little bit, okay? I understand the desire to so badly see him become the guy. Believe me, I want nothing more than that to happen. But overreacting like this is not productive. Getting too giddy about a guy who primarily, minus a couple of throws, was mostly in dink and dunk underneath mode. Let's not name him the true face of the franchise just yet, okay? Let's wait for the next couple of preseason games, and then we'll figure it out then. But right now, the kid's going to have enough pressure. He's got enough other things to deal with. Just let him learn and grow this preseason, and don't try to anoint him when he's potentially not ready for it, okay? Bears fans, please. RELAX. Relax. We've waited long enough. We can wait just a little bit longer to see whether or not Mitchell Trubisky is ultimately going to be that guy, okay?